So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you actually started baby-led weaning and what is baby-led weaning?
So I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a mom of seven, but I had my kids really fast. So I did fertility treatments for all of my children, which people inevitably will ask because I had seven kids in 3 years. So my husband and I struggled to get pregnant, which by the way, he wasn't getting pregnant. He was just like dealing with me trying to get pregnant. We ended up doing IVF with our oldest. And when my oldest turned 4 months of age, I just did what my doctor said. I'm a college nutrition professor. I worked in nutrition for like 15 years. And I was like, the doctor said, start solids. So I started solids and we did spoon feeding and it was terrible. Like we struggled so much with spoon feeding to the point I remember once my mom, who's also a dietitian and has 6 kids, and my sister who has 6 kids, they invited me to go on a play date around lunchtime with my baby. And I remember lying and saying I couldn't go, not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't want them to see me struggling to feed my own daughter. Cause like, who can't feed their baby, let alone like what kind of dietitian mom? Like spoon feeding was a disaster for us. And I just felt like an utter failure. So at around that time when I was really struggling with all of these feeding frustrations, we found out we were pregnant with quadruplets. Now, we had been doing fertility treatment, so I knew the option for multiples was there, but not four, and I was not expecting that. And I remember the first thing that went through my head when I saw the four on the ultrasound was like, how am I going to feed four babies at one time when I can't even feed the one baby I have at home right now? So fast forward, the quads were born at 34 weeks, which is kind of a miracle because it's like average 28 weeks for gestation. So I was very grateful that they made it that long, but I was also very scared. And I spent most of the time when they were in the NICU really studying alternatives to traditional spoon feeding because I was like, no way when I get home and these babies are ready to start that I'm going to force feed them and feel like a failure for four babies at one time. So we did baby-led weaning, which is an alternative to traditional spoon feeding. And that's where babies learn how to feed themselves age appropriate, wholesome foods from their first bites. And it was like a world of difference. It was so remarkably different and such a positive and transformative experience for our family that I actually shifted the entire focus of my nutrition career to only do baby-led weaning. And so we went on to have one more set of twins, Gus and Hannah. They're 3 now. But I did baby-led weaning with them as well and really started refining this approach that I created back in 2016 called the 100 First Foods approach, where babies learn how to eat 100 different foods before they turn 1. And now I've taught tens of thousands of families how to do it through my digital programs and courses that I teach and sell to parents and caregivers. And it's all baby-led weaning all day long, and I love it.
That's incredible. I mean, I have a few questions just within like what you just told me right there. So first of all, you're the very first person I've ever met that had quads. I don't know if you know anyone else besides yourself, but that
Well,
is
I from Instagram, I know like a ton of them. So I actually think it's like normal to me, but I realize it's not normal.
it. I mean, you're the first that I know of. And how was that experience compared to carrying one? I'm just personally curious.
I'm glad I got to have a singleton just to know A, to have a vaginal delivery, which I was like, whatever, I don't need to do that again. But just to have like that experience of like, because everything went kind of crazy after that with the quads. It was really scary because there's a 50% chance of major handicap with a quadruplet pregnancy, and it's due almost entirely to preterm labor. Average gestational period for quads is 28 weeks. So every week I went past 28 weeks, I started to be a little bit less fearful. And then when we got into the 30s, I was like, oh my gosh, this might actually not be terrible. And my quads were born all between 2 and 3 pounds at 34 weeks gestation, and they're all totally healthy. And it's totally a miracle because we got a lot of pressure to reduce down to 2 during the pregnancy. I mean, that's the standard protocol, but we decided against that. I know that's not a decision that every family would make, but I'm so grateful that they're here and that they're healthy, and they drive me crazy, but they are little miracles to the point that we went on and I wanted one more. I'm from a family of 6. So I transferred 2 more at the last IVF, and we got 2 babies, twins, Gus and Hannah. So that was actually
Wow.
kind of easy compared to the quadruplets, to be
Yes.
honest.
Yes. Wow. Incredible. I mean, you are, no one ever should complain about being busy anymore after meeting you.